AKAPADers, welcome to Philadelphia, PA. I'm your host, AKAPAD, Peter A. DeLuca, sometimes AKAPAD69, but always through Philly and the multiverse, the eclectic one. That's what they know me as. So we're here, we're still dropping Blue Beetle content. We're all here in this room to talk about the Blue Beetle trailer that's now been conversationed to death. It's been a little bit of a busy week. We've had a Spider-Verse trailer that everyone's ripping apart. We really have Star Wars jumping the shark. But I like to maintain threads because I just like the momentum of it. Previous video, who created Blue Beetle? How should we credit Blue Beetle? No one cares about that video, but I think that's probably the most important video in this stretch. Now, I use these opportunities to delve into characters. So in the future, I will have Blue Beetle comics and we'll have, some views on that. But right here, Manuel Soto, he's our director. Weird thing with directors right now, they seem to, if you do 20 short films, you become a major Hollywood director. Really weird, but he does have a movie. Charm City Kings looks like a good movie. I really want to see it, but it's really weird, this path. It doesn't seem that there's like a tutelage or a lineage. Like, who are these young directors? Where are they learning their crap from? Are they just plugged into studio systems? That's really what seems to be happening, but I would love more insight. And anyone out there that has insight that sees this, I can drop a line, please let me know. It's a little bit of a phenomenon. So is this Dark Knight fascist line, is this like a complete failure of James Gunn? I don't know how you could let this line fall into the trailer, potentially be in the movie. I understand this outrage advertising, but it's also, you're splitting your audience in half, and there's already enough people that were turned off by just the optics and the attitude of that trailer. And keep in mind, the Blue Beetle movie was originally, it was going to be just dropped on HBO Max. It was a streaming only, or at the time, DC had its own app. So I think that was called DC Universe. But it was never really meant to be a major, tentpole Hollywood release. And I'm assuming that they just cranked up some of the, special effect-driven set pieces, potentially. But it's really weird that James Gunn would not put this movie after Flashpoint because, and we spoke about this, James Gunn's first strike was redoing continuity and not retooling it. Because if you have a Flashpoint, that means there is a multiverse, and you could have infinite versions of every single character, and you might as well, as CEO, you might as well come out of the gate with that, because I really think people would be ready for it, they would expect it, and I do feel like the multiverse stuff lends itself so much more to DC characters than Marvel characters, because the multiverse is almost baked into the DC dough when it comes to a lot of these giant storylines, as Infinite Earths or Infinite Crisis, where we got this version of Blue Beetle from. But we have this Dark Knight is a fascist comment, and I really feel like the trailer alone split people, this comment splitting more people, and then we have Manuel Soto on Twitter mocking people that just want to be vocal about it, and I get it. They're howling at the moon, screaming at the clouds type stuff, but to kind of, and maybe it's going to be here while I'm talking to you, but to kind of relish in it as people are just shocked by that statement, because it's also the logical point that how do these characters know that the Dark Knight even exists? How do they even know he is a thing? Dark Knight's supposed to be secret and hidden in shadows, and I understand, yes, maybe sometimes he ends up in the news or on video with a photo. We saw some of this in Schneider's Batman vs Superman, where people know he exists, but he's still an urban legend. There's a good balance there, and I think we saw that in the Matt Reeves Batman as well. I mean, even going back to Tim Burton Batman, it's a delicate balance, and it's one of those things that makes the Dark Knight so interesting, when it comes from the human character perspective. But like it did make me think, right? And no one's really mentioning that. Like, is the Dark Knight a fascist? And I looked up the definition of it. We'll put that here. So clearly, I mean, if you guys are reading this as I'm babbling, he's not a fascist. It doesn't make any sense, because if we put that fascist with this one, this is the definition of a superhero. The two of them are nothing near Bruce Wayne and Batman and the Dark Knight. I mean, just through the philanthropy of Bruce Wayne alone, if we're getting like deeper insights into the characters. So it's a throwaway comment that potentially may not be in the movie. So what is it at this point? Well, it's outrage advertising, and a lot of people have fallen for it. But I don't like the creators and directors kind of like forcefully like going after people, because you're dividing. And I just don't feel like when you're on the high horse of directing a major Hollywood movie, you kind of have to, you should always take the high road. You should never really punch down, and you should kind of acknowledge it. Or, and so many people are missing this, how come Manuel Soto isn't defending the idea that he put out there? Why don't you just defend it and shut everyone up? And then at that point, it's his idea versus mine, for example, and we all go amongst our ways. But to put it out there, see the outrage, then mock it, and not back it up with exactly what your idea is, exactly what your insight is, for that character to say that, it's, you know, it's devious, it's not good. But it's also, this is, I mean, you can say all you want about this movie being made or in production before James Gunn came on board, but you know, James Gunn is there, and this movie is there, and that trailer got cut, and he saw the trailer, and he signed off on it. This is like almost like strike two when it comes to James. Well, I guess it's strike three, right? Strike one, James Gunn not retooling continuity. Strike two is James Gunn throwing movies under the bus because of his continuity announcement. So we're losing Shazam, we're losing Blue Beetle, and Aquaman. It's just confusing to a lot of people. And strike three, it's this. It's unbelievable. I get it. A lot of you think he's a genius because of Guardians and Peacemaker, but we kind of forget a lot of his other movies that he was involved in. That Belko Experiment, Starburn or Burn Dust, I forget, Brightburn. I always forget the name of that movie, but no one talks about Brightburn. So it's not like everything like Slither, like, even though I love all three of those movies, but they're not really there on the tip of the lexicon. They're not on the tip of the culture. They're not on the tip of, hey, these are great movies, go watch them. They're really not there. I think they're fantastic. I think his first Guardians is fantastic. I understand part of the division in Volume 2 on that. But I do feel like James Gunn also threw a lot of his characters under the bus with that Christmas special. So what is it, people? If this comment ends up in the movie and the director, Manuel Angel Soto, if he doesn't back it up with a defense, him explaining why he thinks the Dark Knight's a fascist, do you even care? Will you even see the movie? I'm all for just like letting this stuff wash over and moving on. You know, no reason to put my time and money into it. Time is money, so don't waste it. Rock and roll people. Can I say that right? Rock and roll people. I love you. It's 80 degrees out. I gotta start some day drinking. Let's go.